Holy moly. Let me tell you guys, things have been going a little kooky. So, ever since Mysterious T, ever since she came out with her second video, things have been going ballistic. I'm actually going to bring her YouTube up here just so that you guys can see it. Specifically because if you look in here for Mysterious T, you can't find her account. To look up Mysterious. Okay, this is her right here. But things have been going crazy. Now, she made a part 1 video, what was it, a month ago? Or yeah, a month ago. She made this part 1 video about like the Trisha Paytas before the fame. And I watched and I was actually like, wow, this is really good. And then she released her second video and I was like, you know, I was like, it's probably going to be okay. But most sequels aren't as good as the original. Of course, though, she managed. Somehow, I honestly think it was better. The first one lays really good groundwork, and the second one goes into the specifics about the ways in which that Trisha Paytas has lied, especially around. I always forget this guy's name. He passed away. The teacher allegation, Mr. Rimey, is that his name? Can you guys confirm that in the chat? She goes into depth about her lying about her teacher, you know, touching her. Not to get too explicit, but what Trisha says is that Mr. Sussy... Why did I read that? You're so annoying. You're such an asshole. I hate you so much. Mr. Riley? Is it Rimey? You guys are such pieces of shit. I fucking hate you all. Anyway. The original narrative from Trish was that this teacher... Mr. Riney. Okay. That this teacher... touched her in school when she was like 6 for like 6 years. And then he got caught for having CP on his computer and went to jail. And that's why he got fired. Turns out, and she told us to look it up specifically. You look it up, it doesn't exist. He just retired. That's it. So then in her My Chemical... in her episode, I think it was 5 of My Chemical Romance, we just watched it.
Movie?
Shut up. We just watched it. I think it was episode 5. It's called "Should the Mentally Ill Be on Social Media?" We did a whole thing. There's a video on my video. There's a video on my YouTube about it. She actually, at about 38 minutes, she changes the narrative after Mysterious T called her out, which to me suggests that she's been watching Mysterious T videos, right?
And them to actually die from.
So what she says now is that one of them, she splits the two people into one person into two people, splitting it into, oh, one of them died, but the other one that was arrested for CP is still out there. She splits them into 2 different people. Incredible. So she's definitely watching at least Mysterious T's video. Or Mysterious. I think it's Mysterious T. Whatever. Well, now Ethan has decided to come out and say, hey, it has come to my attention that Trisha in episode 17 of Frenemies called out a teacher by name and accused him of molesting her during school. She claimed this teacher was arrested and served time for possession of child pornography. She also claimed that someone else had come forward to say he molested them as well. Upon further review, these claims seem to contradict available evidence. Because of the nature of these claims against the specific teacher and the stress it's causing his family, I have decided to unlist the episode for now until Trisha can better illuminate the situation. I want to emphasize that I do not believe Trisha would lie about something like this, so I wanted to give her the opportunity to clarify. But in the meantime, because the teacher has passed on and cannot defend himself, I feel obligated to remove it for now. Okay. So this is actually, I think, is a pretty decent response. I don't think that I mean, obviously I don't agree with I want to emphasize I don't believe that Trisha would lie about something like this. Of course she would. That's what makes her such a bad person. But I think this was a good response. And I don't think that he had to post this. This is one of those things where he could have probably just ignored it and he would have never gotten any real heat for it. But he posted it. I think it was the right thing to do. And I actually give him some respect for that. This was a solid thing, though. I was like, hey, we're pulling it down because these are unproven allegations and we don't want to destroy somebody's family on a false allegation. But Trisha, you know, not that we don't believe you, but we can't just... It's basically he's encouraging due process. You know, you're innocent until proven guilty. Now, of course, the responses are childish as fuck. Look at this. Look at Emily. Of course, her name's Emily. I mean, like, what else would you have expected? Ethan, seriously? Question mark, question mark. Leave Trisha alone. She has begged you to stop. You know your power, influence. At this point, seems like you want her to just crumble and suffer. You keep going and going and going. You won't let her breathe? Why? Move on. Well, I think that we could all agree that lying about somebody touching you is probably bad. And it's one of the worst things you could do to somebody. And so Ethan's just like, hey, I want to be responsible. I don't think that this screams, I really want to talk about Trisha. If anything, even if Ethan does love talking about Trisha and wants to talk about her as much as possible, I feel like based on him, he wouldn't want to talk about this. Like, this isn't something he would want to talk about. But he did. I give him credit for it. But there are some very ignorant responses such as that one, which I don't understand, dude. I just really don't get it. I really don't get it. I remember reading a comment going through here where people were saying, oh, this is, effectively part of not believing survivors. This is part of rape culture. I would say another part of that culture would be people lying about it and getting away with it and diminishing actual assault victims and survivors. But I give Ethan credit for this. Now, this video was posted today. It's only 2 minutes, which is incredible for Trisha. She, 2 minutes, holy moly. But we all know the law of Trisha is any video that she makes can be summed up in 1/10 of the time. So 12 seconds is how long this video should have been. Right? 60 seconds, 120 seconds, 12 seconds. I just want to make sure because the math is weird when you do 2 minutes, Thinking 20 seconds? No, it's 12 seconds. Gotta think about it. Maybe 24 seconds. Maybe a fifth of the time is better. But let's watch this really quick. This says why I'm not posting. Now, she posted this today, September 11th, 9/11. I feel like when I watched it, I assumed it was because it was 9/11 and she was trying to honor something. I wouldn't really believe that she's trying to honor anybody because I think that she's dishonest. But, that's what I expected. But anyway, let's watch this.
Good morning, guys. What is up? So I thought I would do.
And I just want to say, this to me very heavily suggests that, like, Trisha again watches the streams of Mysterious T, and she's starting to get backlash from people about what's going on. Like, this to me is Trisha's a very indirect way of saying I'm really stressed out right now because Mysterious T deconstructed me like a fucking surgeon. And now I'm not going to post because of mental health. Because she always pivots to mental health anytime she gets a lot of negative attention. She's like, well, my mental health is suffering. And for normal people, if you're having a bad mental health day, it's a good thing to take a break. But most people, I would argue, don't like to use mental health as a weapon to make people feel bad for them. But what do we think this is? Oh, it's probably just that.
A little live chat again tonight for members only. So
oh yeah, and she's doing a members only live chat. So it's to plug this and then cry about how she's upset.
Just so there's no confusion, again, there is memberships here on this channel, and there is a bottom tier, there's a middle tier, and there's a top tier. And the top tier is where I do my lives. But because there was some confusion that it's just even the bottom tier.
The comments are turned off. Holy shit.
Lives. I will do I did it last time I went live, the first time I went live, which is I'll do 20 to 30 minutes with the bottom tier. And then I usually switch it over to the top tier for it was an hour last time, but I think I'll go about 2 hours tonight with the top tier.
It really just sounds to me like she's getting ready to get completely canceled off the internet, and she's trying to monetize an alternative avenue. She's like, well, I have all these, if you want to, and what she's telling people is you can come subscribe and we can chat together. Now, I don't remember how many people, I think you had to have the top tier last time, or she fucked it up and you couldn't have the top tier. But somebody told me that she made roughly 600 okay, I think 25 people actually did it. But I'm pretty sure at least 1 to 24 of them were just doing it to see what she had to say, but didn't really like her. I honestly believe that.
About 2.5 hours total. I'll be live tonight at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time.
Oh no, I wasn't trying to hover over the subscribe button. I was trying to hover over the join button, but I'm stupid. I want to see what the tiers are.
Which is 10 p.m. Eastern Time, so kind of adjust accordingly. I want to thank you guys so much for the last lives. It actually was really positive and really great, and away from trolls. And
trolls.
this week has just been a lot of just
I find it interesting that she talks about how she's a huge troll, but but she uses the term troll disparagingly against people who actually try to expose her.
So it was nice to unwind with you guys and going behind a membership wall and posting my videos behind a membership. The middle tier is videos, which you also get if you're in the bottom tier. It's just been a lot more freeing. So I think my main channel, a lot of people haven't seen me posting on it. Well, I had a music video come out, but also I just, I'm just, sometimes you just get really over comments and battling and fighting and I'm like, let me just do this.
So leave the internet.
There's
Trisha.
memberships below.
Just leave.
Thank you for supporting me and the channel. And we'll do another live tonight. Sorry, it's just been it's been a lot this week, I try and stay offline the best I can.
She looks so upset.
So let's just chat about it tonight. I like to keep it positive, but I'm always happy to address anything. Obviously, if you are a troll that comes into the chat, I just block you. I didn't have that last time, but trolls be out in full force lately. So, yeah, I'll see you guys tonight, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time.
Okay. So she looks terrible and devastated. This is her subscription base, so it's $3 a month. You get some badges or whatever. Then it's $7, and that's $25. What a fucking waste of money. Don't ever do this. You'd be insane. So I wanted to bring that one up really quick before we get into more of this content, because now what's happening is that... Shut the fuck up, Trisha. Oh my god, I hate you and your music. It's terrible. Okay. Did she post anything on her Trisha Paytas account? 2 hours. Wait, she said that she wasn't posting, and then she posted on. Okay. I feel like she's not going to post any more My Chemical Imbalance because people keep destroying her video because they're dog shit. Anyway, so a lot of people, now that all this is going out, there are some very questionable videos from Trisha's past. This one is labeled "How to Seduce Your Teacher." This is a re-upload. This is from a Serious T live stream. Somebody else re-uploaded it, which I really appreciate that. Then there's this one, which we're not going to watch because it's just her dancing to the song "Don't Stand So Close to Me," dedicated to all my teachers I ever lusted over. And then the last one is Rape a Turn On. So this is going to be I'm going to play the alerts for a second. This is going to be a very interesting segment here.
You should take the TikTok review parts of the stream and put them on YouTube too as a new series, Boomerang.
Maybe. I mean, I don't know. Maybe.
Jerome,
thank you so much, Jerome Gutierrez. I appreciate that, my man. How have you been doing? So Mysterious shouted you out at 5 minutes. What do you mean, Mysterious shout? We have to. Well, listen, I am but a humble man.
Shane.
But of course, I like hearing accolades. Who doesn't like hearing people shout you out and be like, "Oh, Papa Gut's so cool"? I mean, I already know I'm cool. I just want to hear it.
Back in the day, is that a little too much cleave? A little too much cleave? Is there ever too much cleave for YouTube? Yes. But how to seduce your teacher? So back in the day, I had crushes on all my teachers. Teachers. Send me from.
Oh wait, that was from 2 days ago. She shouted me out. Okay, let's watch that. I'm just gonna do it because it's who the fuck doesn't like me shouting out? You know what I'm saying? See what she says about me. Hopefully it's nice.
Start right? Talking about it. Great research. Thank you so much for your super chat. I really appreciate that. Yeah, like Rich Lux shouted me out in his video today. Papa Gut did a reaction on his channel that he uploaded today. That's like a really good video. He makes a lot of great points on it. He mentioned stuff in his videos that I didn't even think of. He makes a lot of good points. That video is really, really good. I'll actually link that video once this live stream is over.
Gotta love it. Also, someone in here said that they're pregnant, and that was kind of funny to me. I always appreciate a nice shout out. Very nice. Thank you. I appreciate those kind words. Anyway, that was just for me. Okay, so I wanted to talk about these because the claim from Trisha is that she was touched by her teacher. And as much as we are very conditioned now to hate Trisha for everything that she does and not give her the benefit of the doubt, and it makes sense as to why. Thing is, though, is that it is possible that somebody gets assaulted by a teacher and then turns that pain into pleasure by having an attraction to teachers or authority figures. So we have to maintain as much of an unbiased nature as we possibly can. That's what we have to do that. We have to. So we're going to watch these videos because I'm saying that, but we also have to keep in mind that the narrative completely shifted. You know, first of all, she was proven to be lying about at least one of the people that she claimed assaulted her. That was Mr. Rimey. And she even changed the narrative later on. Secondly, and I bring this up a lot because I think it's something that we really need to focus on. I understand repressed memories and not talking about things because they upset you, but I don't understand the complete reframing of a situation. And what I mean by that is originally she said that she used to dress sexualized to attract the attention of teachers. But then she went on to later to change that to I never dress sexualized. I tried to dress down as much as possible and I still got harassed by my teachers. And I got assaulted by them. And the reason that it bothers me is because it would exist perfectly fine. The narrative of I dressed sexualized and a teacher assaulted me, why change that the entirety of the situation? It doesn't make sense to lie about everything. It makes sense to withhold information. But reframing it completely suggests that it's a lie, because it's quite possible that a child can dress for the attention of teachers and then a teacher would hurt them. But it doesn't make it the child's fault. So it doesn't make sense that she reframes it. And we need to keep all this context in there because it's so bizarre. It invalidates her own perspective, on top of the fact that she lied already, you know. And she also mentioned that she loved it when she was 6. She was like, I loved it, which was fucking insane to me. She's like, I loved the attention, and I didn't realize it was wrong till later. I feel like there's no 6-year-old who actually ever loves that type of attention. They're always all very uncomfortable, and I don't think they even have the capacity to understand what's truly happening. So to think that, like, oh, I love this, I just don't think so. Maybe I'm wrong, but based on everything Trisha's shown us, I can't. I just don't believe her. But anyway, let's watch this one. It's called How to Seduce Your Teacher.
Yeah, it's like a 6-minute video, okay, you guys?
But today I want to talk about how to seduce your teacher. So I was always a little seductress back in the day. Is that a little too much cleave? A little too much cleave? Is there ever too much cleave for YouTube? Yes. But how to seduce your teacher. So back in the day, I had crushes on all my teachers. Sent me from 4th grade. My 4th grade teacher, Mr. I was in love with. He was a hippie with a ponytail and earring, and I passed that one time, and he carried me to the
Mysterious T muted that, which makes sense.
Nurse's office after we had our hepatitis B shots. Sexual, and I think he felt the heat too. I totally get it. And then we moved on. My next crush was, I want to say, freshman year, Mr. Byron High School. He was the English teacher, but also the gym teacher and wrestling coach, and we had heart rate monitors, and I always was like, I don't know how to get my heart rate monitor on. Could you help me, Mr. Hot, premature gray, but sexy, fit, tight little body. Then I moved schools to Pecatonica High School, where it was my ultimate teacher crush, Mr. who was my sophomore biology teacher, and oh my god, his glasses and his muscles and his talking, and I would always go see him on my breaks, or I'd always get out of class and be like, I have to go see Mr. I left my book in his room, and the seduction just started. Now let me just say as a disclaimer that I did not have sex with any of my teachers till after I was out of school and of age, or college rather. I had a college teacher that I had sex with. He was my theater teacher, and it was very easy to seduce him because I had a tight little body, and I was just like, hey.
What the fuck? What the fuck is that? That's not me. You pause.
I am going to stop it for 1 second. So did you hear what she just said right there? I did not do anything with any of my teachers. I'm going to play that just one more time so you can just see how she's acting and everything else.
Yeah, I think so. Again, what I will say is that it is quite possible for this whole situation to happen and her to still have slept with or been molested by a teacher. It's possible. It's possible that the root of this behavior of being attracted to teachers comes from a history of getting assaulted by a teacher. It is possible. However, it's Trisha. And I think it's more likely that this behavior of being attracted to teachers isn't an attraction to teachers. It's what she said before. It's an attraction to authority figures. And I think that comes from probably her father not really being there in her life and trying and wanting some kind of a male authority figure in her life and being attracted to that. I really don't think that she was assaulted. And I would normally not say that, or at least by a teacher, for anybody else. But Trisha's life is fully on blast here, and she's already been caught lying about it.
College rather. I had a college teacher that I had sex with. He was my and I would always go see him on my breaks, or I'd always get out of class and be like, I have to go see Mr. I left my book in his room, and the seduction just started. Now let me just say as a disclaimer that I did not have sex with any of my teachers till after I was out of school and of age, or college rather. I had a college teacher that I had sex with. He was my theater teacher, and it was very easy to seduce him because I had a tight little body, and I was just like, hey, wanna go out? And that was it. So you might have clicked on this video thinking that I was going to give you a bunch of silly tips and make it really funny, but if you actually want to seduce your teacher, there is a few things that you should do. One, I giggled a lot. I think giggling schoolgirls are the cutest little thing ever.
Well, okay. You know what I don't like about this video, though, more than anything else, is what does she mean by seduce your teacher? Like, is she saying, like, hey, college girls, this is how you seduce your teacher? I find that gross, and you shouldn't say that. But if this is aimed at kids in middle school and high school, then, like, why the fuck are you trying to encourage them to try to seduce their teachers? That's disgusting. You're literally asking them to get sexually assaulted. Like, you're quite literally trying to get them assaulted. I don't understand. Now, obviously, it's always the teacher's responsibility to deny that, but I don't understand why you would create this video here. I find that gross.
Especially when you are young. Also, disclaimer, if you are underage, under the age of 18, you are not legally allowed to have sex with a teacher.
Okay.
Nor do I think if you are 18, I don't think teachers and students can have sex when they're actually like in a student-teacher relationship. After school, after graduation, that's a whole other story.
Okay, well, at least she clarified that. I'll give her that. But still, I mean, who the fuck's watching your videos, Trisha? I doubt. What is your demographic at do you think that Trisha's demographic at this point, which was, I think, like upwards of 10 years ago, do you think that it was all like 20, 18, 19-year-old girls plus, or do you think it was like 13, 14-year-olds who want to be like Trisha? They want to be attracted to teachers, and they want to be attracted to older men, because kids do pick up on things, and they do emulate people that they see as popular figures. And so this type of behavior is very appropriate. I will say that this type of behavior wasn't shunned on YouTube for some reason. It was one of those things where I talk about YouTube was it was some kind of a social experiment, growing kids up. What am I saying? Where a bunch of kids basically dictated the landscape of the application, and it was fucking bonkers.
You can do what you want, just, look out for each other's reputations. But yeah, so giggle, I love to giggle. I think I giggled all the way up until, well, literally last week when I was looking at the community colleges. I was like, oh, really? Giggling just always works in general for seducing anyone. Also, asking to be tutored. Not necessarily dumbing yourself down, but just needing a little extra help or wondering how I can get a little extra credit. That was my favorite thing today. I'd just be like, is there a way I can just get extra credit? Like maybe help you out after school, set up for the math fair. Little things like that I think is super, super cute. It also doesn't help to have similar interests as the teacher you are interested in. Mr. Was into movies, as was I, so it was really great. We had a kind of a bond over Quentin Tarantino films, but I knew he was a really big fan of like Robert De Niro and like those kind of things.
Wait, that's very interesting. Okay.
As the teacher you are interested in, things like that I think is super, super cute. It also doesn't help to have similar interests as the teacher you are interested in. Mr. Was into movies, as was I, so it was really great. We had a kind of a bond over Quentin Tarantino films, but I knew he was a really big fan of like Robert De Niro and like those kind of things, so I would start renting Robert De Niro movies and talking to him about it. Okay, so there's another catch. Was about 3 minutes 30 seconds. Okay, so Trisha talks about how she was assaulted by teachers. This was all showed in Serious T's second video. And she specifically brought up the movie Taxi. And now, I know she changed it to something else after, but she specifically brought up the movie Taxi, which is a movie, and she blamed it. She's like, oh, the teachers would blame me for sleeping with them because in the movie, the protagonist or the antagonist or whoever, some older man was attracted to some younger woman and they engaged physically. And she would say that the teacher did. What I'm focusing on, though, is the Taxi part. This teacher likes Robert De Niro movies and Quentin Tarantino movies. And Taxi is a Robert De Niro movie. So my assumption is that Trisha, and the context around this seems to be that this teacher is, she's of age by the time that she's into this teacher. Is it Taxi Driver? Is that a different movie? Are we talking about, I thought she said the movie Taxi. Or is it a completely different movie? Because I was going to say, it sounds like she constructed this whole narrative off of this situation where it was like a consensual sexual engagement with the teacher when she was of age. Am I thinking of the wrong movie? Maybe I'm thinking of the wrong movie. Maybe that wasn't really the catch I thought it was. Oh no, I think it is the catch. I think it is.
Yeah, taxi driver in Cape Fear. Yeah, no, I'm not. Okay. Uber driver, very good. No, taxi driver. Okay, it's the is Taxi Driver a fucking Robert De Niro movie? Yes. Okay. So so it doesn't invalidate what I'm talking about. But you're just correcting me. Okay. But yeah, it seems like, sorry, I didn't mean to. It seems like she grabbed that taxi driver bit from a teacher that she engaged in with in a consent, which is so weird. A teacher to sleep with a student, whatever though. It's still weird, even if it's legal and of age. But still, it's weird from the perspective of the teacher. But it seems like she's taking this narrative of this taxi driver movie, and she's basically saying that, like, I slept with this teacher at a consensual age, but she's changing the narrative to it was when she was younger, but she's maintaining the elements of, like, the movie. Like, that's the framing. It's very bizarre.
Or if there was a movie he would bring up that he really liked, if I haven't seen it, I was like, oh, I haven't seen it. He would, like, lend me the DVD, so it gave me, like, an excuse to come see him. He's like, oh, pick up the DVD after school or something like that. Back in my day, you could close the doors, but I think now I'm pretty sure there's an open door thing where, like, if a teacher and a student are together, the door has to be open, so no hanky-panky there. And I didn't with any of the teachers that I mentioned, just FYI, if they're still teaching. Definitely didn't. Definitely wanted to. Definitely didn't.
Oh, so she didn't even sleep with those teachers. So this was she definitely didn't. I feel like her constant. I imagine what Trisha would respond to that with is like, "Oh, I thought it was okay when I was younger, or something, but I knew other people wouldn't think it was okay, so I lied about it and said I never slept with them." I'm giving her ammunition. This is just.
I didn't with any of the teachers that I mentioned, just FYI, if they're still teaching. Definitely didn't. Definitely wanted to. Definitely didn't. So yeah. So find similar interests and just be like you want to learn more. Once I started.
And again, right there, she said definitely wanted to, but definitely didn't.
Yeah, it does sound like she's turning.
I mean,
it does sound like she's turning fantasies into trauma. I agree with that. Yeah.
This video is so disgusting, you guys. Like it. She had 1 million followers. 1 million followers when she posted this video.
Yeah, and you know what's the worst is it's more disgusting for teaching. This is what she's doing. She's basically teaching kids how to sleep with their teeth, or try to. I mean, it doesn't remove any of the responsibility of the students, of the teachers, but she's trying to teach students how to sleep with their teachers. It's just weird.
Bonding with Mr. I'm gonna do all my projects based around Quentin Tarantino movies. I did a what do you call it, like a slideshow presentation on amoeba dysentery. I don't know. The disease that Butch's dad died from in Pulp Fiction with the watch and stuff like that, and I got to like incorporate that into my presentation. We also had to pick an exotic or some sort of like foreign animal, and I picked the black mamba because of Kill Bill, and of course he gave me A's on all of those, so that was a score. This was into fitness, so I remember taking 3 gym classes my freshman year.
Yo, I guarantee this teacher thought that Trisha was so annoying and weird. Remember when Trisha talks about how she got bullied for being fat even though she wasn't the fattest person in the school? It's probably because she was a super annoying attention seeker. I think that everything comes down to her wanting attention desperately from everybody, and especially from authority figures, male authority figures specifically, because her father wasn't really there for her and didn't actually love her and would just buy her things to tell her to shut up. And I think that's really what would happen, and that's the problem with Trisha.
Said I had to get them all out of the way. So just finding that kind of stuff and wanting to learn more is always an A+ in teachers' books. Saying hi every time you see him also helps him remember and like you and sort of give you that flirtatiousness. It's that flirtatiousness you can get away with without having it to be so obvious that you want to sit on him. So every time I would see him, if he was with other teachers or other students, I would just make sure to be like, hi, Mr. And he would always say hi to me, so every time we would pass, he wouldn't say hi to anyone else, but he would say hi to me, and it was an awesome thing. And then I remember at the lip sync, my mom came, and I was just like so embarrassed because was there, and I was just like, oh my god, she's gonna think I'm like so hot, my mom's gonna know our sexual attraction.
You know, I really do think that this is her being very genuine, and one of the reasons is because cancel culture didn't really exist back then. So you didn't have to be afraid of what you were saying or what you thought. And most of that, I think a big part of that is because there was no real morality on YouTube. I mean, you just have a bunch of dumb fucking kids saying dumb shit, and adults didn't tune in or pay attention, and so there was an aspect there. But I really do just think that that this is a very honest telling, because she doesn't get backlash for saying these things are really gross, but in context of when she said it, this was somewhat normal for people to talk about. And so it's like, okay, and I wouldn't even cancel her for saying this. Like, it's just like weird and probably shouldn't have been made, but I get it. For back then, she was a dumb young person, and it was definitely inappropriate for now. But back then, for whatever reason, you could do whatever the fuck you wanted. But this is the genuine Trisha. I really believe that. Now Trisha feels like she has to walk on eggshells and try to say what's the most politically correct thing, even though she fails at it. But you can see, because she'll take any current modern day social narrative, and she'll throw it into every one of her stories. That's why she changed the narrative of, like, I used to get bullied for being fat to I never got bullied for being fat. They would just always try to like over sexualize me, and I tried to underplay it, which doesn't even make sense. And even going on to say that she didn't even try to like lose weight. She tried to gain weight, right? That was one of the things she used to say I tried to lose weight. In fact, she admitted it again. But then there was a whole arc where she's like, I never tried to lose weight. I tried to gain weight to be less attractive to my teachers because they would always touch me. You know, she's trying to ride social narratives of like, body positivity, sexual assault, and all these different. Even that's why I truly believe she identifies as trans in some capacity, or non-binary. And one of the reasons is because she said in one of the videos, I believe she said that the reason that she identified as non-binary comes from her history of molestation. But since that history seems to be invalidated because there's no proof whatsoever, and she actively lied. She said that the information was available, but it wasn't, for that Mr. Riney character, the teacher who had passed away, that he was arrested on CP charges. She actively lied. And so if she has no root for what she claims is, or if she doesn't have what she claims to be the root of her identification as non-binary or trans in whatever capacity, then she's not actually trans.
But then he said hi to her, and then that was kind of killed. But saying hi is always a good thing. And as I said before, borrowing something's always good. Whether I borrowed a DVD, which was the whatever, but if you need to borrow something for research, oh, can I borrow a textbook? Can I borrow this book to take home so I can read more about it? Borrowing things means you have to give it back eventually, meaning you have to see him an extra time, and that's always a score. It's also beneficial, as I mentioned, if you take all of his classes, be friends with his friends, and be friends with the person that has a lock closest to his classroom. At the time, classroom was by people with S's, so all my friends coincidentally had last names that began with S's, so I could just hang around, so he would always see me even days that I did not have his classes. I took all his classes, his gym classes, and his English class, and I did that on purpose, obviously. Obviously, the more classes you have with them, the more that you can just infatuate on their gorgeous eyes or their muscly bods. Just gonna go there. That's what my education got for me. Also, be friends with his friends, not in the creepy way. Don't go out and be friends with the people he has drinks with. Be friends with the friends that he's all teachers are friends with each other. They have like certain cliques that are really close. I remember there was a math teacher named Mr. Our teacher named Mr. who also drove a bus, and I would try and be flirty with them too, so I would flirt with them in front of him and he might get all jealous.
Wait, she would flirt with the bus driver? Dude, this is really bizarre behavior. This is just really inappropriate behavior. Like, if I found out my daughter was doing this, I'd probably fucking smack her. Not to be rude, but like, if my daughter was ever harassed, I would obviously kill the teacher. But this is very inappropriate to try to. Well, my daughter wouldn't have this problem because I would love my daughter, and she wouldn't feel the need to look for other male affections because I wasn't there for her.
And they talk about me after, and the teacher's lounge. The fantasies of 16-year-old Trish. This is what it is. Now, I know a lot of these are sexual, silly, but bottom line is it's also really important to be intelligent and be unique, to stand out.
Well, Trisha, you are none of those things.
To be your own person will really captivate that person, and they'll show a sign of maturity that you don't care about blending in or what the cool kids think, that you're older in mind, spirit, and body. Maybe not body, but it just shows this, like, if you have a level of intelligence, level of maturity, that they're going to look at you differently than they look at the other students. So if you really do want them to pay attention to you, make sure they pay attention to you. Yes, you're cute, you're giggling, but you want people ultimately to be attracted to your mind, and I think that's why I had these relationships with my teachers, just a close friendship, if you will, because they could see that I was a little bit different than the rest, and they kind of.
I doubt that. I don't think that all these teachers were like, "Oh, Trisha is so much more mature than these other students. I really like her a lot. I'm gonna go home and jerk off to her when I get off work." I'm pretty sure they were like, "Wow, this student is very pathetic. Her father doesn't live with her because and doesn't love her, and her mother is terrible. So I'm going to befriend this student to make sure that they don't take their own lives."
Like that I didn't really need to blend in. I didn't need to dumb myself down or listen to the latest music, that I was okay being true to me. And I think he was my Western Civ teacher who was also friends with Mr. He was also one of my greatest friends. I didn't have a sexual attraction to him, but he was so great and he encouraged me to be me, and that's ultimately what teachers are there for you to do. So if you have a special bond with a teacher, that's awesome. Sometimes it can be
really quick. This is off the topic of the video. Somebody said, when are you reacting to Tubbs Iceberg Part 2? So this video here, I reacted to Tubbs Iceberg Part 2, and it was very inaccurate in 2 ways. And this video here, that's right here, it's just called Correcting Tubb about Daniel Larson, Gemini Official. It's in here. I'm not going to react to the second one because I already did, but I didn't put it up because we already talked about it.
It's considered as a crush, but a lot of times you just look at them and idolize them for allowing you to be who you are, and that's what I appreciate most about my teachers. So I hope those techniques help. You can go, if your teacher looks like Sting, I say go full throttle for it, but you know, whatever. Yeah, I love that song.
It does sound like she kind of sucked him.
The subject of schoolgirl fantasy. She wants him so badly, knows what she wants to be.
I love that song anyways.
You know, I imagine all these teachers that she mentioned, I don't know what their names are. I'm assuming this person censored it, or Mysterious T must have censored it. I think that she downloaded the video and censored it. It's totally fine. But I would say to Mysterious too, you should go and you should look up all these teachers' names and see if any of them have a child pornography charge, because if they do, that she probably is mentioning or referring to one of the teachers that she claims assaulted her in this video. And so if you can find any of them that actually does have a CP charge, maybe there's a level of truth to what Trisha's saying, or it would really just be more evidence against her if you didn't find that.
Does he so close to me? Anyone know? Okay. Another reason why my teachers were into me. I dug music that were way before my decade. I love you guys so much. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know if any of these tips were helpful to you. And I'll see you guys in my next video. I want to say hi to Marina. So until next time, here are my kisses for my little baby fishies. Mwah! Bye.
That is just so annoying. Okay.
So,
No.
video.
So, okay. All right, well, there's that. So we're not going to watch this because it's just a fucking video of Trisha dancing to the teachers that she lusted over. She looks terrible. Okay. What I want to do is read the comment. This video is still up, so I guess she's going to remove this very soon. This is from 2010, March 24th. Okay. So it's no secret I have a thing for older men. Always have. And you know, I stem it all back to my school days. Ever since the 4th grade, I remember feeling all tingly, all, dare I say it, sexual inside. Not when it came to fellow classmates, boys, but when it came to my teachers, men. I can't believe I'm even admitting this. My goodness. It's really the only reason I stayed in school. I remember telling my mom about my crushes. That's an interesting thing for her to say. The only reason I stayed in my school, because she moved schools like 4 times. That's weird. Anyway, I think she was a little freaked out. Duh. Haha. I was a little weirdo. Awful thing is, like, everyone knew about my mad love. Well, that's really bizarre. If that was my kid, why didn't the mom hit her? Not hit her, but yeah. 4th grade. What are you in 4th grade? Like 9? Am I wrong about that? No. I'm really dumb. Well, how old are you in 4th grade? How fucking stupid am I? 8? Am I right about that? I just... what's the year number? How... 6. Okay, so you're 10. Right? You're 10? 9, 10? Okay. Okay, it's about... So it's a 6-year... Add 6 years to the grade. Sorry. 4th grade. Mr. Bronny. Oh, these are the names of the teacher. Okay. Where did Trisha used to live? I think you could look up these names that she's dragging. And, hold on a second. Do you remember what state she lived in? Ew, what the fuck? Okay, I probably shouldn't have, oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, so I went to look into possession of CP, and I just literally looked up Mr. Bronny, and then I got. I think we know what I'm saying here. Okay, I'm never doing that again. Okay. Anyway, let's get back into the video. I was uncomfortable. I didn't see anything. It was just like really fucking jarring. That was bizarre. Okay. But I would you'd have to see if these teachers were the one. I would assume that these are the teachers that she's talking about. I don't know. He had a long ponytail, somewhat of a hippie. Carried me when I passed out To the nurse's office. So heroic, so unique. He always popped that breath mint before talking to me. Sigh. Why do I keep winking? I have Tourette's, bro. Freshman year of high school, English, Mr. Baker. He recited Shakespeare. He had me right then and there. So distinguished. He had premature gray hair and was the wrestling coach. Wherever he touched me, I was like, ah. Saved all my papers from him and my heart rate monitor that I had him strap around me because silly me couldn't figure it out. This is really weird. Junior year of high school, Mr. Dunn. This one was pretty bad. I was like a little 16-year-old stalker. I would stop by his room on my breaks to talk about movies and whatnot. He even sent me a copy of Seven, which was a huge deal. This guy had it all. Brains, bronze, and glasses. A football coach. I was a cheerleader. Major American Beauty fantasies with this one. Second year of college, acting, Jason. Okay, so I guess I was an adult on this one, not young girl, but still, he was my teacher, and the authority he had, that part I really focus on. I think it's an authority thing, again, with her father. That's the thing. Okay. I don't know exactly. So I do know that people in their trauma, some of them turn their pain into pleasure. So if you're sexually assaulted, some people develop a CNC kink, which is something she's never developed. So I think that's just something to bring up. So it's possible if she was assaulted as a child or molested, it's possible that she turned that pain into a pleasure and went after her teachers, especially if it happened by a teacher. The thing, though, is that I would imagine that it wasn't on the pretenses of being an authority figure and more about just being a teacher specifically. But the fact that it seems that she's attracted to authoritative figures and not teachers. Teachers are authoritative figures, but she's attracted to the authority, not the teaching. Suggests to me that this is all this attractiveness or all the attracting, what do I say? Her attracting, oh, Jesus Christ. The fact that she's attracted to older men comes from a father issue. Let's see, all the authority he had, that gets this little girl's heart pumping, and the innuendos were amazing. It was actually legal to be flirtatious, definitely reminiscent of the old days of inappropriate crushes. So before you all think I'm a big hussy, let me explain. These were all just crushes. Totally didn't act on it. I would just go home and make out with my couch and think of them. It was really hard to concentrate in school, but I never quit thanks to them. Not to mention I'm obsessed with Sting. GA, could you imagine him as a teacher for real? Yeah, no restraint. Okay, wait, okay. Then it's 20 pounds 9 months. This video also marks my 20-pound weight loss mark. Okay, whatever. Okay. Yeah, I think this is very revealing. Fatherless activity. Absolutely, my friend. Okay, so this one we're gonna end. This is the worst one. Christ. So this one's called Is Rape a Turn On? This is her book, Tease. And I wish on a star. What's this? Can I... What does this have to say? Enter a world where one girl's twisted sexual fantasies become dark. It sounds like a porn novel. Okay, whatever. Let's listen to this.
So today I'm going to be discussing. So, anyways, I love you guys, and thank you guys for watching and kind of hearing me out. I hope that clears it up a little bit, and I'm going to go ahead and go. But until next time, here are my kissies for my little baby fishies. Mwah! Bye, guys. Hey,
okay. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't even know if I'm going to put that video in my video, because that was horrible. She threw off the R word so many times. Okay. So I was saying before that some people like to turn their pain into pleasure when it comes to like their assault, and I understand that. But I think that the usage of the word is still incredibly triggering, and the situation is still sensitive. I've never met an assault survivor that was like, yeah, this word's totally chill. Let's say it actually like 25 times in a video. Happily. Like, this really reads to me as she really has never been assaulted. Honestly, she doesn't seem to have any type of like PTSD associated with saying this word over again. She's too happy and jovial. It's not even the writing of the book, because some people pour themselves into their book, and it's quite possible that somebody would make a book about that event, the R word happening, who was assaulted. But it's just the complete disregard for any type of emotion surrounding the word. It's just too much. It's way too much. I might have to cut that whole thing out. That was terrible. That's ridiculous. You want me to watch the mysterious T video at 43 minutes? Minutes?
An old should stick, just subscribe.
Hey, thank you so much for the sub, my friend. All right, they said skip to 43 minutes. What you got for me here?
Give me just a second, you guys. I'm going to play this other clip. Like, this is another lie about her school. And if you watched the live from the other night, you know what I'm talking about. I mean, I gotta take I have so many, like, screens open, you guys. Okay, I'm going to share this other one. So if you guys didn't see the stream from the other night, like, this is another story about Pecatonica, about her theater teacher. Hang on. I'm not doing anything right because I'm like...
It sounds like she's really upset, and people in the chat are saying, oh, don't cry. And what I find really interesting about this is that, and this is something that I think that if Trisha would listen to anything I've ever said, this is the one thing I wanted her to hear. And it said all these people that are supporting your downfall, your justifiable downfall, are people who used to love you, and they used to respect you, and they used to think that you were representative of them in some capacity, and you've effectively betrayed those people. And I want her to hear that, because I think it's very important, and that on any normal person should weigh tremendously on your mind.
And there's like almost 2,000 people in here. That's so crazy.
So is there a... Oh,
give me a minute. I gotta find it. Here it is. Okay.
Fucked up thing your high school theater teacher ever...
What the hell?
Okay.
Right when I made it at normal speed, it went away.
If you can't hear the sound, let me know.
Most fucked up thing your high school theater teacher ever did. Go. I will start.
Okay, so he wasn't really a high school teacher. He was just like the director of our play. This was in a town called Pecatonica, Illinois. It was my last high school I tried to attend. I attended 3. And theater, I was never good. My uncle at Byron was the director and it was awful. But this was in Pecatonica, and this had to do with my pee. I had to pee a lot because I was on a Slim Fast diet. I would just drink Slim Fast all the time. This was the second year in a row I was in these plays, and these were really shitty plays. Like, I'm talking the Playhouse had probably like 30 seats. No one came to see. And they weren't like common plays. They were like weird plays that no one heard of. I was in one called Swing Fever, and I can't remember the name of this one. So basically I would like leave rehearsals like twice to go pee, like every time we rehearse. And this time he was telling me that I can't go pee, so I ended up peeing on the stage. This one I was wearing pads and I had my period, and so no tampons, so you know where that was going. So I peed on stage, and he told me that I had to lick it up or I wasn't leaving. He locked the auditorium door, and needless to say, I escaped through the back, and he was a freak.
Like, that's just
like this is
true.
Such an obvious lie. Like, such an obvious lie.
Yeah, if that event truly happened, she would have been talking about that all the time. I feel like that's just not true.
That she's spreading about her theater teacher at Pecatonica High School.
Yeah, it's fucking ridiculous.
It's just so messed up to me how you can just blatantly lie like...
I mean, I believe it at this point. We keep playing
that.
This
like, I don't get it. I don't get it at all. Like, these schools seem like the worst schools in the world. Like, they seem terrifying.
The way that she represents these schools is as if there's some kind of a deep-seated conspiracy narrative driving the entire thing. That's the way that she presents this. Like, there must be this deep-seated conspiracy like situation going on where everybody's in on the abuse of children.
I can only imagine. I'm sure there's parents, if they hear about this stuff, they don't want to send their kids to these schools. It's just so messed up on so many levels. Like, all of this stuff, you guys. Like, I don't understand how she can do this. I really don't. And just feel no remorse for the things that she has done. And I'm going to play this other clip if you weren't on the stream, because she changed the story about the teacher that I made the video about again in her podcast. Because now
the book she wrote 10 years ago,
Now she is trying to make it sound like it was two separate teachers. She's saying that one died and then there was a separate one that got arrested.
Yeah.
When if you watched my video, you know that she had the I'm not naming the teacher in any of these other videos. She named the teacher and said that he was arrested and he died. She has said that in a previous podcast. And the only teacher that she has talked about in these stories was the one teacher. But now in this clip, she's trying to turn it into it was two separate teachers. So here's the clip.
The book she wrote 10 years ago contradicts almost everything she said about child growth. The book I wrote 10 years ago, I'm 23 years old. Yeah. I'm protecting everything. I'm writing my own story. That's not reality. I was so scared. I was so scared of the people who abused me. Like, it took one.
What? Are we dissing Mysterious? No. Why would you think that I'm dissing Mysterious too? What are you talking about?
To actually die for me to feel some sort of like relief, and another one to go get charges pressed against him for me.
I'm trying to look. So at that video we watched where she like danced like a fucking moron, there's mention of an acting teacher, but it was in the second year of college named Jason. And so I'm trying to sit here and like look and see if that's who she's talking about. If she had an acting teacher in college and she's referencing a teacher she had a crush on, but changing the circumstances to make it seem like there was some kind of abuse involved with it.
Go back and say something and at least make something right.
So do you see how she split that into two separate teachers?
Yeah. I caught it. I'm a smart fella. All right. I think we got about enough of this Trisha shit for today. It's fucking crazy, bro. It's really unfortunate because I feel like Trisha has only gone deeper into the lie instead of owning it. And this right here where she splits it into two people, I think that's indicative of that. And the more that I personally, like, it's funny because I think it was yesterday, I was like, you know what, I think that if Trisha owns her shit and she can move forward. But I really kind of feel like she can't anymore. I feel like she can't move forward anymore. If not like socially, I think that she's done. I think that this was a precise deconstruction of her, and that's it. Trisha Paytas is done forever. So I don't know. This situation is gonna keep going though. It's only gonna get worse for Trisha. There's only gonna be more things going on. 1 hour ago. See you there, babe. Can't wait for your live chat tomorrow. This must be an actual fan of Trisha. What a nutcase. What a fucking nutcase, dude. Let's see. 18 hours ago. I'm just trying to see. Couldn't fit the chairs. Vegas too fat. Joel. Why is she retweeting Joel Osteen? Whatever. What a stupid fucking idiot. Well, that's it for that.